said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick bringing you another episode of Wheeling the Pathways of Life. Today I kind of want to talk about respecting one another, whether you have a disability or not. We all have differences that some of us may call disabilities, and some of us may not. Some of us may call them strengths. Some may call them weaknesses. But you gotta remember, people are individually made for a reason. And people are individually made and individually we all have differences that we have to deal with and want to deal with. And how we deal with those differences is the most important thing. And the toughest thing for people with disabilities is people looking at the wheelchair as the be-all and end-all, as people looking at the wheelchair as being a hindrance. Okay. Yes, I have a disability, but the only difference is my speech is a little off and my hands don't work. But it doesn't mean my brain doesn't work. And it just means that I'm a little bit different and I drive around instead of walk around. There is no cognitive disadvantage. Cognitive means thinking, for those people that don't know. There's no cognitive disadvantage to me at all. There's no development. The only developmental delay I have is physical. All right, there is inherent psychological things that go on in a chemically and emotionally that kind of give me depression, but that's taken care of by medication. Other than that, I can think, I can process situations and make informed decisions about what I want to do. And in a better way to put it, what the Lord wants me to do in certain situations. And I think that one of the biggest handicaps that exist in this country is two things. Actually, one. And you may say, what's he talking about with other people's disabilities and the country's disabilities? Because if you think about it, in one way or another, everybody's decision and everybody's thought process could be looked at by other people as a disability. And let me tell you something, not everybody has the same ideas, nobody has the same situations they want to deal with. But it's the way they deal with them. It's the way they deal with the ones they do have and the ones that they have control over. And the biggest one that I think everybody has is the biggest ability that everybody has is, but we don't use it all the time. It's compassion, okay? Compassion, but there's compassion and then there's compassion for what the Lord wants us to do, okay? And the reason why I say this, and you're gonna hear me say this throughout today's show and throughout many of my shows in the future, because you can have compassion in the way that people want it, or you can have compassion in the way you should have compassion. Okay, what I mean by that is you should want to help people because that's what human beings do. But you gotta understand, people want to take advantage of that and say, oh, somebody's gonna do it for me, so I don't have to do anything. Somebody else will do it for me. And that's not compassion, that's not giving, that's taking advantage of people. And what giving is knowing when you can do something and knowing when you should do something. Okay? And what I mean by that is, the facts are, looking at me in this chair, people may want to say, oh, what can I do for him? I feel bad for him. Well, you can feel bad for him and feel bad for me, but the question is, more along the lines of, why feel bad for me when this is where God wants me to be? A lot of people don't understand this, but you know what? In many situations, I credit my life as being the way it is because of the chair. I've met some of the greatest people around this city and around certain areas of the country, and gotten to do several different things that most people don't even think about doing. Or they think about it and say, I'll never do that. I'm too busy. I'm too stuck on what I need to do on a daily basis to just survive in life and survive in situations. Yes, I'm busy, but all choices that I made and choices that the Lord has made for me. Now, yes, I've had bumps in the road and falling off a few sidewalks and stuff like that, but I just get up and keep going. I just get up and keep going. There's situations going on right now at the house that I just keep right up and keep going. You know, I used to sit there and say, poor me. And these past couple weeks have been one of the busiest couple weeks that I've had to deal with, but I've had an opportunity to reach out on YouTube and watch what other people in my situations do. And I'm not the only one that is doing this kind of situation. But I am the only one taking on the political side of the disability But there are people out there that show day to day, getting on school buses, getting on this, getting on that, and realizing the frustrations of showing people the frustrations and showing people what they can do and showing people what's out there. When I'm not out there to just show, look what I can do. I'm out here to show, look how normal I am. Let me say that again. I'm here to show not so much look what I can do, but I'm here to show how normal I am. Okay? And before anybody says it, I say this all the time. What is normal? Normal is not feeling sorry for yourself, just going about your day the best you can and dealing with as many situations as you have to during the day, and doing it with dignity and respect, and doing it with the knowledge that you're doing the best you can, and God is with you. And for those people that believe, I'm not telling you what, by any means am I telling you, you gotta believe what I do, but I am telling you this. The way that I go through life is do unto others as you would do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. And I don't want to be treated or put down for the way I believe, and they don't want to either. So, I mean, what I'm saying is, if you want to be treated fairly, you need to treat other people fairly. And the person that we came from, in my opinion, is Jesus. And the way we treated him wasn't fair, but he still treats us with the utmost respect. So we, in my opinion, I feel like we owe it to him to give him the same respect. So I am going to work the best that I can to provide information and knowledge to the general public. Whether you decide to use it or not, it's here for you. But I am telling you that for those people that are disabled or think they are disabled, okay? I don't mean any disrespect, but some people use their disability as a crutch. Well, one day I had trouble with my hands. if somebody says, one day I can't pick up something, and one day I drop something on the floor a couple times, that may not be a physical disability. That may be just something you're dropping on the floor. That may be just a circumstantial situation. But a disability to me is a long-term, a disability is not necessarily long-term, but it's something that you can't do or you need help with. Okay? Let me tell you something. As I've said before, we all have disabilities. We weren't made the same for a reason. Now, if we were all made the same to think the same way, to do everything the same way, what would we learn? What would be the purpose to be here? Okay? That is why I believe God made us different people. I mean, if you were doing the same thing day in and day out, what would be the educational purpose for that? Okay. What would you learn if you were not challenged day in and day out? What would I learn if I was able to walk? I'll tell you what, not nearly as much as I learned not being able to walk. Because I'm forced to take my time and study and listen to people. I don't have time to get into my head and say, I want to go out with my friends, I want to do this, I want to do that. I do have that, don't get me wrong, but if I was able to walk, it would be a lot more than that. It would be, I know I'm supposed to meet with you today, but I'd rather go out and do this, so I'd rather go out, walk away from you and do what I want to do because I can. Well, I take things more seriously than that. I take things with the I take things more serious than I can do than I think I would if I was able to walk. Because there wouldn't be as much of a challenge for me to look back on and say, I accomplished that. There are things that people can do, that people can do that walk around, that they are challenged at. But I believe God puts us in a position where if an obstacle's gonna get in the way, He doesn't allow us to have the obstacle. And in my case, my legs are my obstacle. And the way around that, Kelsey, if you pull out for a second. The way around that obstacle is this wheelchair. Doesn't mean I can't do whatever I want to do, but I can do more with the chair than I can without it. Okay, Kelsey, you can go back in now. You know, when you're faced with a challenge and you're faced with a disappointment, don't look at the disappointment as a disadvantage. Look at it as, okay, why am I in this situation? What is to be learned from this situation? Now, when I come back in just a couple of minutes, I'll get into more practical and more reasonable ways to understand what I am talking about. We will be right back, folks.
You're the God of this city. You're the King of these people. You're the Lord of this nation. You are. You're the light in the darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You are. There is no one like our God. There is no one like you, God. Greater things have yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. Greater things have yet to come, and greater things are still to be done here. You're the Lord of creation, the creator of all things. You're the King above all kings. You are. You're the strength in our weakness. You're the love to the broken. You're the joy in the sadness. You are. 'Cause there is no one like our God. There is no one like you, God. really done here? Thank you, God, you are not done here, Lord. Greater things in this city. Oh, Lord, thank you, God.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brian Fitzpatrick bringing you a episode of Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged. And I am unpacking today how, yes, I have a disability, because you can see I have a disability because I have a wheelchair. But even people who you can't tell they have a disability, because you can't tell they have a disability, doesn't mean they don't have a disability. And some of the ways people have a disability is not physically or mentally. It's physically or mentally per se, but they do have a disability in the way they think and the way they've been taught. They have a disadvantage of the way they've been taught or the way they consider things. And that's what I want to talk about now. And for the remaining about a half hour that I got left, and that is, we all know what happened the other day, and whether or not we agree with it or not, whether we vote Republican or whether we vote Democratic, that's the way it is for a reason, and we believe we have some control over what happens. Okay, and we do have some control. God gives us the resources and the ability, and the government gives us resources and the ability, but God has the power to put the person in here that needs to be in place right now. And it just so happens that a lot of the country doesn't agree with what just happened. But it's probably, it is for the best for what God wants to happen right now. And despite what I may think, or despite what you may think, in your opinions, and this is only my opinion, and this does not reflect the opinions of the station or WTBR, or Pittsburgh Community Television in general, or it's donors, or it's other supporting people. But you know what? We'll get through it, and we'll all grow from what just happened. We have to be understanding. We don't have to like it. We don't even have to understand what just happened, why things just happened. Just roll with it. We will learn as we go. Every day is an education, and we are about to go back to school again, as far as whether we need to be, basically what I'm saying is we need to be tolerant of people and people's opinions, and whether they agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. What we think is what God thinks, and it's also what needs to happen. It's all up to God and what He feels needs to happen at the time for us to be where we need to be. In the space and time we need to have, or in the space and time where we are right now, we need to just be aware of our attitudes and our disposition over putting people down and stuff, because God wouldn't want us to do that. I could say to you right now, I don't want to get out of this chair. Is it possible? Is it possible for me to get up and walk right now? No. So why even waste my time looking at the possibility of getting up out of the chair? Would I look at that if it was a possibility to do so? Maybe. But would it be likely, or would it be something that I need to waste my energy on to do if there wasn't a purpose to do it? There wasn't a reason to do it? No. And remember, our reasons may not be the right reasons. The reason why I would want to get out of the chair may not be God's reason, or may not be somebody else's reason. Or somebody may just want to say, oh, I did that for Brian because Brian asked me to do it. All right? I can ask you to do anything I want to ask you to do, but whether or not you're supposed to do it in God's eyes, or whether or not I'm supposed to be asking you to do it, in reality is a different story. Whether or not God's got another way for us to do things, we don't know. So we just need to for lack of a better way to say this, we just need to not be quiet, but we just need to strap in and hang on, because God's gonna take us where He needs to go. God's gonna take us where we need to go. However He feels like He needs to take us. And if that means being in the chair and disagreeing with people and fighting for fighting for disadvantaged people, speaking out for disadvantaged people, speaking out for respect for our government and the way it works, then that's what I'm supposed to do. This exact statement that I'm making right now may have been me deciding to do it in the time I'm doing it, but believe me, I feel like we all need to hear it, whether we're disabled or not. More so for the disability, more so for the people with disabilities, because I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to say one more thing, and this is going to finish up the show. God does not give us anything we can't handle. Okay? God does not put us in any situations that we can't handle. Okay? That includes government, that includes talking to people we meet, and that includes understanding what we need to understand at the moment. Do we understand everything we are going to understand at the end of life? No. But do we understand what we need to understand now? Yes. Is everybody where they need to be for right now, where they are? Yes. Are they gonna be where they are? Does that mean we're all gonna be where we are later on? Does that mean we're gonna stay to where we are right now later on? No. You may be disadvantaged now, but just because you have a disability does not mean it's not what it's meant to be. And you are exactly where you need to be at the moment you are right now. Okay? You could be, somebody could be listening to my voice laying in bed and saying, what can I do? What's my purpose of being here? Okay? Your purpose of being there is to be there so other people can learn from you and work with you so you can be an inspiration to them. You may not think you are, but you're an inspiration to them. People that don't think they're doing anything because they're sitting around doing nothing in a chair. I didn't think I was doing anything when I'm sitting home watching stuff on the internet. But I'm now taking the opportunity to explore other people's lives and how they live, and looking for other people with disabilities and actually studying and trying to contact them to get more perspective on other people's situations. If we took the time and did that, I think this world would be a lot better place. If we took the time and listened and really understood what each individual and each individual's purposes and each individual's understanding of their purpose, we'd be in a lot better place. And we might realize that even though we go about it in different ways, a lot of us try to get this, a lot of us are going to wind up at the same place, even though we go different pathways. We're all going to wind up at the same place at the end of the day. We all have different pathways, but most of us will end up in a place that is much nicer and much more meaningful place than we are right now. If we just work on attitudes and work on accepting people as they are, not as you want them to be. So, one more time, Kelsey, pull up. Just because I'm in a chair, and the purpose of me being in a chair and the purpose of me saying what I did is to show you and get you guys to understand differences of appearances and different ways of doing things does not mean we're any more different in our purpose than anybody else. We just have different ways to do it, different pieces of equipment, but we just do what we need to do when we need to do it. And we just, I just hope and pray that everybody gives people the respect they need, and more importantly, give Jesus the respect he needs, and deal with people in a way that God would want them to deal with you. Want them to wants you to deal with other people. All right? All right, Gilsey, you can go back in. What I'm basically saying here, what I'm saying today is the chair is just a shell. My human body is a shell. Not the human body, but my mind, not my physical, not my appearance is not everything. My appearance is not everything. It's what's inside of me and what's inside of every one of them that really matters. And whether or not you agree with everybody, with everything that everybody says, is not gonna matter at the end of the day. It's what you've done and what kind of benefit you can have in the way things are perceived and the way things are just the way you deal with people today can have a big impact on the way things are dealt with in the future. And with the way, if you know the Lord, you're going to be rewarded for everything you do down here. There's gonna be some punishment. There's gonna be some corrections done because we all make mistakes. But the more understanding and the more respect and more ways that we can help other people will help us in the long run at the end of the day. So I will never say my life is easy, but I will say this. I'm so happy to be where I am today. I am more fulfilled doing this, doing it for the person that I'm doing it for, as in the Lord, as I could ever be if I was just able to walk. Because would I be in the position where I am if I could walk? No. There's no telling what I would be doing if I could walk. There's no telling whether or not I would be going down the same pathway. And we're given pathways for a reason. And the pathway you've been given has been chosen for you. Do what you can with the pathway you're given. And if you need help understanding what your pathway is, and why you have a disability you do, what kind of thinking causes you to have a spiritual disability, or ways that you can ways that you can understand your physical disabilities and what the doctors are telling you. Feel free to get a hold of me at Wheeling the Pathway of Life. Wheeling the Pathway of Life at Wheeling the Pathway of Life. Wheeling the Pathway of Life. At gmail.com, Wheeling the Pathway to Life at gmail.com, and I will try to help you the best I can, or I will put you in touch with people that can actually help you. That's Wheeling the Pathway to Life at gmail.com. And with that, folks, I have to end the show, but we will see you all next week. And have a great week, folks. Thank you.
You can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. 'Cause when the spirit's moving is where we'll be done. You can bury the workman, but the work will go on.